January 20th marked President Trump's first year in office. It also marked the first government shutdown since 2013. While President Trump signed major legislation like tax reform into law, appointed a new Supreme Court justice, and slashed Obama-era regulations, his first-year approval ratings were the lowest of any modern president. So I sat down with 5 Gainesville-area Trump voters to ask what they thought of the president's first year. With us, we have Sherry McKnight, co-owner of Big Daddy Guns; Ron Thornton, a retired UF faculty member and part-time technology and political consultant; Hugh Wise, a retired Oak Hammock resident; Tammy Prince, a nurse practitioner and chairwoman of the Alachua County Republican Party; and Alex Nunner, a UF graduate student and former chairman of the UF College Republicans. How has he done in his first year compared to what your expectations were?
He's done phenomenal, and he has exceeded my expectations. Mine too.
I'd just like to say that for the past 10 or so years, I got up in the morning and felt really depressed. Like, where's the country going? Since the past year, since Trump has been president, I get up in the morning happy.
Well, I was pleased because he accomplished my #1 priority is get a conservative on the Supreme Court.
I think as not being a career politician, he's done very well for where he started. And coming into politics, I think he's been trying to talk to his side of the aisle and also talk to the other side of the aisle. And I think that's one thing that we need to continue doing.
What are some things that some specific things that you've liked that he's done so far?
I like his tax reform, the way he's changed them, and I think it benefits all of us.
I like the way he has corrected the economy, got the GDP up, unemployment down, especially among blacks, and got the corporate tax rate down to 21%, which brings a lot of companies back into our country.
When people speak negatively about tax cuts for corporations and such, just with our business alone, tax cuts, not just ours, but many businesses now can hire more people. There's more to go around, and that makes it, creates more success for all of us.
One thing that I really like, being a college student who will be graduating this semester, is that the job market is very strong right now for college grads. That's one thing that I really like.
What is something or some things that you haven't liked about his first year?
Some of the things that I haven't liked coincide with the things that I do like, is like his outbursts on Twitter. I think he could control his anger or his words or say it better, but that's not him.
I know he's gotten a lot of negative press over the outhouse comments for the last week. However, Harry Truman, the Kennedys, Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, Bill Clinton, they all use language just exactly as he's done.
Let Trump be Trump.
Amen.
I think Trump needs to kind of hold himself to a higher standard because he does get attacked on a lot of different issues. And so when he is on Twitter and when he is talking to people, even if it is a closed-door meeting, he needs to make sure that he's holding himself to that high standard so that nobody can attack him on those issues, because then that divides the country, and that's not something that we need right now.
In your opinion, what were some of his biggest legislative achievements in the first year?
As a business owner, I love the tax reform. What I love about it is the fact that I've been able to show other people why that makes sense for them, people who only hear other news that aren't covering it. So I'll say tax reform.
I like how he's taken a forward step in foreign policy.
Okay, so
he's taken a big step.
He has redirected the energy policy.
So you liked him getting out of the Paris Climate Accord?
I liked him getting out of that accord. I liked him opening up that pipeline out west.
Okay, now I saw all 4 of your heads nod. Alex, what did you think of him getting out of the Paris Climate Agreement?
I do think some of the things that the Paris Climate Accord had, I don't have specific points, but we're strong and we need to continue to do those type of things. But I think that can be handled more on a personal level instead of having to be in that organization.
What do you guys think of Trump building the wall if it's with U.S. taxpayers' money, despite what he had said on the campaign trail of Mexico will pay for it? That's fine?
I think that many people, especially Trump supporters, have stated we'd be happy to contribute to that. We would. Finally, it'd be something that would actually do something to secure our country.
Drug traffic the human trafficking, those kind of issues require all our resources to solve. So let's do the wall.
I'm not 100% sure we need a physical wall. I think we can enforce the wall with more people manning it, with drones, with different types of new technology. I think we can be able to manage guarding that without having to build a physical wall.
And on the issue of DACA and immigration, does it seem like, in your opinion, that he wants to do something and he should want to protect DACA and Dreamers?
As long as they're doing right and paying their taxes and not doing anything unlawful, you know, they ought to be getting a break. They're not necessarily amnesty, but at least allowed to stay.
I also think that if someone's here contributing, or not send them away, like like Democrats are trying to say that this program is going to pick them up and take them back to their countries.
Does the Russia investigation and the fact that Russia did try and influence our past election, does that bother you at all?
They did, but it wasn't President Trump.
Wasn't Trump.
Trump, they keep saying it is.
As far as Russia is concerned, they're dealing with the wrong group. They should be dealing with Clinton's group. Hillary participated in the negotiation of the uranium issue that gave Russia about 20% of our resources, uranium resources.
I don't believe that there's any collusion with the Russians. I think if there was, we probably would have found it by now. I don't think they should be spending taxpayer money on this. If they really want to investigate it so much, they can do it on their own time.
Does it concern you the way that he often attacks the media and the free press?
No.
Nope.
I think it's great that he has
Go
the
for
courage
it.
to go out there and do so. He puts their feet to the fire. He holds them accountable.
I think Trump's been mild in his response to the media.
I think Trump could continue to use Twitter if he really wants to, but what he could do is then reach out to more of the media, and if they could cover him so that they could talk to him and get to know more of his sides of the issues and have him on their channel so he could reach different viewerships.
We can use an example of him tweeting about Kim Jong-un and him having a bigger nuclear button. Does the way in which he tweet bother you at all, or is that seen as a way that it's okay and he can speak directly to the people?
I find it humorous, the way he tweets, the way he phrases it and so forth. It's like the button. My button is bigger than your button. Well, I mean, that's not a serious comment.
I think it's direct. It's direct, it's to the point. It's humorous.
I think they're good, but I don't think you can take those as direct policy positions.
Right.
I think he uses sarcasm in them,
Right.
he uses humor, and that's not exactly what he's saying.
What are some of the most important local and state issues to you guys?
I don't like Gainesville being a sanctuary city.
Disparity, the differences in, things like jobs or the economy, education.
Here in Gainesville.
Here in, Gainesville, Alachua County, where the black community is far behind other groups. I'm talking about getting the education situation improved so that the graduation rate in high school among black students is high enough that they can go out and compete for jobs.
What is something that you guys would like to see replaced? The old Joe Confederate statue that was taken down in August?
I say leave it alone.
I say leave it blank.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot please all people all the time. I mean, if you put a lovely sculpture there of a butterfly, and I'm sure that would be somehow found offensive to someone.
What about our folks in the back?
Leave it blank.
I'm thinking they could just put a statue of the American flag there.